Hi and welcome. In this podcast, I would be talking about the research report published by India Ratings and Research on growth in consumption demand and wages in financial year 21. The National Statistical Office provides gross value added data as per four different components: production taxes less production subsidies, consumption of fixed capital, compensation to employees, and operating surplus or mixed income both by institutions and production sector. India Ratings reorganize this data in terms of what is accruing to labor and what is accruing to capital to get an insight into the manner in which the income generated in the process of production is being distributed across the two key sectors of production, namely labor and capital. India Ratings analysis of this data shows that of the three institutional sectors, the share of household in the GVA is the largest at an average of 44.5% during financial year 12 to financial year 21, but it is the highest in wages at 25.5%. On the other hand, the share of public sector in GVA is the lowest at an average of 19.2% in financial year 12 to financial year 21, but the share in wages is the highest at 39.2%. The share of private sector in GVA and wages is more evenly balanced. Nominal wages grew at a CAGR of 10.4%, while return on capital grew at a CAGR of 8.8% during financial year 12 to financial year 21. However, the data at the institutional classification level presents a somewhat mixed picture. Wages grew fastest at a CAGR of 13.2% in the private sector, followed by the public sector at 10%. The household sector recorded the slowest wage growth at a CAGR of 7.2%. However, the growth in returns on capital at 9.1% was the highest for the household sector, followed by the private sector at 8.9%. Growth in return on capital was the lowest for the public sector at 6.2%. The slowdown in nominal wage growth to 6.1% during financial year 17 to 21 from 11.9% during financial year 12 to financial year 16 has implications for consumption demand. This is clearly visible in the nominal private final consumption expenditure growth, which declined to 7.2% during financial year 17 to financial year 21 from 13.4% during financial year 12 to financial year 16. More importantly, the household sector, which accounts for 44.5% of the GVA, saw their nominal wage growth declining to 5.7% during financial year 17 to financial year 21 from 8.2% during financial year 12 to financial year 16. In fact, both wage growth and PFC growth, that is the growth in consumption demand, turned negative in COVID-19 impacted year of financial year 21. Since much of the growth in consumption demand is driven by the wage growth of the household sector, a recovery in their wage growth is going to be critical for a sustainable recovery in consumption demand and overall GDP growth in financial year 23. In case you require further insights on the points discussed in the podcast, you can check out our research report. You can also reach out to us in case of any clarifications, comments, or observations.